Last year, I made a video talking about what was on my iPhone, and to my surprise, it did extremely well. So I thought, since it's a brand new year, I've made some changes on my phone. Let's do an updated what's my iPhone. If you don't know already, I believe in the law of attraction and manifestation, and I feel like one of the easiest ways to implement those things into your life is through your phone, since we're all pretty much always on it. It is definitely something that we are looking at every single day, so I just think, why not make it the most positive and motivating space as possible, especially given how interconnected our phones are to our mental health. So I hope this gives you a couple ideas to make your phone a little bit more optimized and a little bit more motivational. So starting first off, this is my new phone case. This is just a simple pink phone case that I got on Amazon. I figured it was time to just do something a little bit more sleek. It's not really picking up on the true color. It's looking more white, but it is pink. First, starting off with my lock screen. This is a photo collage that is essentially a condensed version of my larger manifestation board that I made at the beginning of the year. If you haven't heard of a manifestation board or a vision board before, it is basically where you find a ton of images that you find inspiring that represent your goals and the life you're trying to build, paste them all on one little board, and you place it somewhere that you're going to be seeing it every single day. I personally find them very motivating, but I also do have a pretty crazy success story that has kind of happened multiple times over. It is a older video, but if you want to hear me talking about that, it is in this video. But as far as widgets go on my lock screen, I have the moon phase, I have Spotify, and I have the weather. I definitely think having Spotify on my lock screen is the most helpful thing, because anytime throughout the day I can just tap on it. It's there, it's easy to access. Moving into my phone further, swiping first over to the left, this is the page that I never really know what to call, but the page that is there when you swipe to the left. Starting off at the top here, I have my screen time, which as you can see is extremely high today because this is actually the second time I'm filming this video. Not proud of it, but ideally, this is gonna help me be more mindful with how much I'm on my phone. Moving down, this is a Pinterest widget that changes hourly, and it is connected to my Cultivating My Dream Life Pinterest board. Then at the bottom here, I have my battery, which is extremely low right now, and the calendar. This is the main homepage. Up at the top, I have just the date in big letters. I feel like it's just mostly there for aesthetics, but it is cute. Then the first photo that I have here is one of my favorite photos I have ever taken. This was from the retreat that I shot content for back in October of last year. It just makes me so happy to see it. It is, as I said, my favorite photo that I've ever taken. It represents everything that I want to be doing with my future, and I just really like having it here. I feel like this is a reminder of like, hey, you did it before, you can do it again. I also have a photo of a plane window view, also to signify travel. Then for apps, I have basically my most used apps here. I have Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and Goodreads, all of which are linked down below. And then I just basically have your classic iPhone apps. I have clock, settings, notes. In this folder here, I have calendar, my banking app, my Gmail, Google Maps, Pay by Phone, Dropbox, PayPal, and weather. Basically boring adult stuff. Then at the bottom bar here, I just have kept it pretty simple. I have phone, Safari, Spotify, and then messaging apps. So I of course have messages, then I have WhatsApp, and sadly I have Hinge because I'm single. Swiftly moving on from that though. Swiping right. This is kind of like my content creation page. So I have all of my photo editing apps, my scheduling things, my planning things. Up at the top, I have my Notion, which is where I do a lot of my content planning. And then I have ChatGPT, which I have actually been calling ChatGPT for the longest time, and I was saying it with such confidence. And then I have Notion, YouTube Studio, and a folder that has all of my photography kind of apps. So first I have Snapseed, which is really great for kind of spot correction or also expanding images if the crop was too tight. Then I also have Lightroom, which is my most used editing app. I do all of my major edits in there. Then I have an app called Preview, which is where I plan out my Instagram feed. I really like this because I can kind of move things around and and make sure that the colors are balanced and that things kind of look good and cohesive. Then I have, of course, camera and photos, the Canon Connect app, which I use to connect my phone to my camera. This is how I take photos myself without any help. This, if you are trying to do content creation and you don't have like a friend or family member nearby that can take photos for you, definitely try to find something like this because it helps a lot. And then I also have the DJI Ronin app, which is what I use to connect my phone to my gimbal, which is super important for stabilizing it so I can use it properly. And I can also use my phone as a remote. And then for widgets, I have this quote that says, "You are so capable, stop doubting that." I feel like it's just good for a work page. And of course, with content creation, there's a lot of like planning and due dates and stuff like that. So I have the calendar so I can keep track of everything. And then I have a little cake that I found on Pinterest that has 10K on it because my goal for 2025 is to reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that's there. And then swiping to the right again, this is my health page. This is where I largely just keep track of my menstrual cycle. I have PMDD, so it is really important to know what symptoms are coming and when. Up at the top here, I have the moon phase, which is purely there for aesthetics, but I feel like the vibe fits. Then I have Clue and Natural Cycles and the corresponding widgets. Clue I mostly just use now for a countdown, which I actually need to update it because it's not accurate right now. But normally that is a countdown for my period, so I know when it's coming. And then Natural Cycles I more or less use for symptom tracking. And then in this folder here for other, as I've titled it, I have an app called The Pattern, which is a really, really cool astrology app. And then I have the health app, the Sezi timer, which is a fitness timer. And then I also have Jane Video, which is just an app that is kind of like Zoom, but for like medical calls. So I use that whenever I'm working with my naturopath from home. And then I also have this pretty photo down at the bottom here that was actually my old iPhone wallpaper, and I just really like it. Then swiping to the right one last time, this is my shopping and food page. So I have Amazon, Depop, Sephora, DoorDash, and then I have in this folder here, which I actually just noticed it still says folder. I need to rename that, but this is like my clothing apps. So I have Urban Outfitters, Free People, Princess Polly, Aerie, and Lululemon. I also have this little graphic up at the top that says Endlessly Creating Myself. This is the same one that I had on my lock screen. But I felt like it was fitting for like a kind of shopping style page. And then I just have a pretty photo of some palm tree leaves. Something I also wanted to talk about. I have been using the iPhone's night shift for the longest time, as I'm sure probably a lot of you use as well. But I recently learned that you can set it up so then if I triple click, it turns my screen completely red. And this is what I do every single night, or every single evening and night, I should say, and it completely blocks all of the blue light. Another benefit is that it makes my phone very just unattractive, and I've noticed this really helps me get off my phone in the evening and just do other things, which I feel like is really helping my sleep as well. So there we go. That is everything that is on my iPhone. I keep things pretty simple, but I really like how I have everything laid out right now. I hope this gave you a couple new ideas to customize your phone, make it a little bit more inspiring. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. It really does support me and my channel. Here's my Instagram if you'd like to see more content from me, and until next time, I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!